At Monday's meeting, I warned them about a security hole. They mocked me. Stick to marketing, sweetheart. 48 hours later, customer data was hacked, the CTO begged for help, and I was calmly holding receipts. I was almost fired for being right. Then I hit play on the recording. At 9:01 a.m., I'm standing in the middle of the cybersecurity bullpen, every monitor casting a cold glow on my face. My voice is steady. The handshake is leaking unencrypted data. 6 heads swivel toward me. Only one looks curious. The rest smirks. I clutch my tablet like a shield, my heart's thumping, but I won't back down. Cassandra, says Miles Kruger, the cybersecurity director, not bothering to look up from his triple-monitor throne, you're in marketing, not network forensics. Don't embarrass yourself. A chorus of snickers echoes through the room. Devin, his smug deputy with gelled hair and mirrored glasses, adds, maybe stick to infographics. Leave the real work to us. I glance at Eliza, only woman on the team besides me. Her lips twitch with discomfort, but she looks away. Silence speaks. I take a breath. During two-factor authentication, there's a 5-second window. It's not just idle, it's wide open. I track the packets. They're going out unencrypted. That gets a reaction. Devin scoffs. Packets? What did you do, binge a few YouTube tutorials last night? Miles stands up, tall and condescending. This is what happens when you hire people with certificates. You give them a keyboard and suddenly they think they're Snowden. My face burns. I spent 6 years at Arbortech as a vulnerability analyst before marketing. Right, Miles sneers. Until you collapsed in a board meeting and needed a break. Should have stayed broken. His voice is low, sharp, and everyone hears it. I leave, their laughter stabbing me with every step. Back at my desk, I stare at the blank screen. I'm shaking, humiliated, angry, but mostly furious at myself for not seeing this sooner. They think I'm weak. I'll prove them wrong. I write a monitoring script. Simple, clean, passive, legal. By 2 a.m. it pings, the leak is real. The next morning, the Data Vault Systems call center explodes. Unauthorized access. Locked out. Who changed my account? It's a full-blown customer data breach. At 9:44 a.m., Levi Holland, the CTO, bursts into my office. Tie skewed, panic in his voice. How did you know? I turn the screen toward him. Calm, measured. Because I was doing their job, while they were too busy laughing at me. If you've ever had your warnings ignored by arrogant coworkers, hit that like button and drop your city in the comments. What would you do next? By noon, the office is a war zone. Phones are ringing off the hook. Executives pacing. Security teams scrambling like ants around a kicked hill. And me? I'm in my office, watching my screen in silence. The breach is massive. Real-time data flows across the unencrypted gateway, just as I warned. Someone is harvesting it. Thousands of records, names, emails, passwords. I export the traffic logs, encrypt them on a private drive, and prepare for what I know is coming. At 12:17 p.m., Levi's back with someone new. Eva Lennox, Data Vault's CEO. Her heels strike the floor like a judge's gavel. Cassandra, she says, her tone more suspicion than gratitude. Why didn't you bring this directly to leadership? I turned to her slowly. I tried. Your security team laughed in my face. Eva's jaw tightens. Levi gestures to my screen. She's been tracking the intrusion since 3 a.m. The vulnerability is exactly where she said it would be. She warned them days ago. Eva glares at Miles, who's just now slinking into the room, Devin behind him like a silent shadow. I thought it was nonsense, Miles says, all fake regret and backpedaling. She wasn't specific. I cut in. Verification handshake, unencrypted transmission. I laid it out step by step. Eva raises her voice, sharp as glass. Enough. Cassandra, bring your documentation to the executive briefing at 3. Miles, Devin, you'll be there too. I want answers. As they leave, Miles leans close to me, his breath sour and voice low. You just declared war. Careful what you dig up, some things bury you back. I don't flinch. You're already buried, you just haven't realized it yet. But my confidence fades that night. A text buzzes on my phone from a blocked number. Nice move, Cassandra. Hope your therapist's number is still active. My stomach drops. That was private. No one here should know about my breakdown at Arbortech. No one. The next message arrives 5 minutes later. Funny how breaches follow you. Remember the Arbortech meltdown? Page 17 of the incident report is real interesting. Page 17, My breath hitches. That report detailed how a set of compromised protocols were introduced 3 weeks after I left Arbortech. But the implementation looked like my old architecture. Someone could twist that. Someone could frame me. The next morning, the HR calendar updates. 9 a.m., meeting with HR topic. Employment status. No explanation, just that, and a ticking clock. I rush to Natalie Foster, my boss and the marketing director, before anyone else. She's already heard whispers. "You're being set up," she says, jaw tight. "Miles is feeding the board half-truths about your past, suggesting you orchestrated the breach to make him look bad." I sit down hard. "They're accusing me," she nods grimly. "He's calling it a pattern of opportunistic behavior. They're trying to make it look like you triggered this to weasel into a security position." "I need proof," I say, standing. "I need something that shows I warned them. Clearly. In front of witnesses." Natalie hesitates. "Eliza from security looked sick during yesterday's meeting. If anyone remembers your warning, it's her. But when I find Eliza later, she's jumpy, won't look me in the eye." "I remember," she says quietly. "You said the exact issue, but I can't say that officially." "Why not?" "Miles, Devon, they run this place. If I go against them, I'm done." I nod, defeated. But then she glances around and whispers. "Check the Slack channel. Monday morning, after your warning. Devon always records the stand-ups for review." He might have logged that one. My heart races. "Even if it's been deleted," she nods. "Sometimes he backs it up to his Google Drive. He's lazy with passwords. Try Devon Rocks 2025. That night, I sit alone in my dark apartment, face lit only by my laptop. My pulse pounds in my ears. I try the password. It works. Inside a folder called Security Stand-Ups, I find a video file, Mon MTG9 AMMP4. I click play. At 12:17 into the meeting, my voice is clear as day. The verification handshake is sending unencrypted data packets. It's a vulnerability that could leak credentials. Then Devon's voice. "Who cares? It's just marketing girl Cassandra trying to get brownie points with the CMO." Then Miles. "Mark it as minor noise. She had a breakdown at her last job. She's just trying to stay relevant." I pause the video. My hands are shaking. They knew. They all knew. And they mocked me, dismissed me, dug into my past to silence me. This time, I won't be quiet. My hands are still trembling when I back up the video to a secure drive. 2 copies, one hidden in my apartment, one in cloud storage under a decoy file name. I'm not just trying to survive tomorrow's HR meeting. I'm preparing for war. At 3 a.m., another text. 9 a.m. HR, bring your badge. They're not even pretending anymore. I don't sleep. I arrive early, dressed in the same navy suit I wore the day I testified in front of the Arbortech board after that breach. The one that had nothing to do with me, but nearly cost me my life. Inside the boardroom, 4 people are already waiting. Levi, Eva, Helen from HR, and Miles. Devon isn't there. Strange. Eva opens, her voice tight. "Cassandra, serious allegations have been raised. Not only about your behavior during this security incident, but about your history at Arbortech." She slides a folder toward me. I don't touch it. "We've received documentation suggesting a pattern of behavior. Leveraging vulnerabilities to damage your team and climb over colleagues." Miles chimes in, smug. "And curiously, you predicted the exact breach vector, almost like you engineered it." I lean forward, slow and calm. "You're saying I caused the attack." "We're saying," Eva says, "that your actions and your timing raise questions." I pull out a USB drive and slide it across the table. "Then you'll want to see this first." Levi plugs it in. The room falls silent as the video plays. At 12 minutes in, Miles' voice echoes. "She had a breakdown at her last job. She's just trying to stay relevant." Helen's mouth opens in shock. Levi's eyes go wide. Eva stares at Miles, who pales under his tan. "That wasn't meant for, that's out of context," he stammers. "It's entirely in context," I say. "That's the Monday stand-up. That's me warning your team. And that's Miles ignoring it while weaponizing my medical leave." Eva leans forward. "Where did you get this recording?" "It was anonymously provided, along with these." I pull out a printed thread of texts, each one threatening, each one referencing confidential HR files and board decisions. "I've traced the messages," I say. "They originated inside the company, from a burner phone. Building security footage places Devon at the corner store Monday buying 3." Eva doesn't move. Miles didn't send them, I say, eyes on him. But Devin did, and I believe Miles knew. Just then, the door opens. Natalie walks in, followed by Sharon, Data Vault's legal counsel. Sharon speaks calmly. We've confirmed the texts. It traced access logs. Devin used an admin backdoor to access Cassandra's employee file, including her Arbortech leave documents. That violates multiple HR policies and federal health data laws. Levi stands. Where is Devin now? Security escorted him out an hour ago, Sharon replies. His devices are being examined. I glance at Miles. He's sweating. Eva folds her arms. Miles, did you know Devin was sending threats? He doesn't answer. Miles! His voice is a whisper. I didn't ask him to threaten her. But you used her past against her. You buried a security report, and you tried to rewrite the breach timeline to cover yourself. He sinks back into his chair. Eva stands. Effective immediately, Miles Kruger is relieved of duty. HR and legal will coordinate the separation process. I breathe just once. Deep, quiet, controlled, but it's not over. Eva turns to me. Cassandra, I owe you an apology. I'm not looking for one, I say. I just want the truth protected. We want more than that. Levi, he speaks clearly. We're creating a new cybersecurity oversight role, completely separate from the security department. Independent authority. It reports directly to the executive board. Eva nods. And we want you in that role. I look around. Only if we clean house. No more gatekeeping. No more arrogance. Security should be collaborative. Cross-functional. Eva smiles faintly. Agreed. As they dismiss the meeting, Miles passes by, eyes hollow. This isn't the end, he mutters. I don't answer. Because it is. It's the end for him. 3 weeks later, Data Vault Systems is a different world. The old security team is scattered. Devin's been arrested, facing charges for unauthorized access and harassment. Miles. Quietly dismissed under policy violations, though everyone knows. No severance. No farewell email, just silence. But that's not enough. Because I don't want silence, I want change. My new role, Director of Security Integrity, gives me full audit access and a direct line to the board. No filters. No Miles to spin reports. No Devin to twist code. But I don't just review firewalls and protocols. I start visiting other departments. Listening, customer support, QA, design. I ask one question. Have you ever noticed something wrong and been ignored? The stories pour out. Small flags, ignored warnings, dismissed reports. Especially from non-tech teams, especially from women. It's a pattern, not just of negligence, but of cultural rot. So I start building something different. A cross-departmental task force. Engineers and marketers, sales and support. I name it the Signal Team, because sometimes the biggest warnings come from the smallest signals. And I invite Eliza. The first time she walks into my office as an official task force lead, she nearly cries. I thought I'd get fired if I helped you, she says quietly. You almost did, I answer. But not anymore. Meanwhile, Natalie helps me design a mandatory new security training, one that uses my breach as a case study. I insist on using real names, real decisions, real consequences. It's uncomfortable. Good. At the next company-wide meeting, I take the stage. Behind me, a screen shows 2 lists. 1, the vulnerabilities we've patched since the breach, 7 in total. The other, a timeline of the breach. From my first warning to the day they finally listened. Security, I say, isn't just code, it's culture, it's whether people are allowed to speak up. Silence, then applause. Later that afternoon, I receive a single email. No subject line, no sender. You win. I smile, I don't reply, because this was never about winning. It was about fixing what they broke. 3 months later, Data Vault's reputation rebounds. We don't hide the breach, we own it. And customers respect that. Our transparency becomes our strength. I catch sight of a news article. Data Vault's new security model could be industry blueprint. I close the tab. Instead, I open our new vulnerability reporting portal, the one I designed. No names required. No departments blocked, just signal, noise, and listening. One report catches my eye, flagged by a customer support rep. Early, subtle, easy to miss. I call him directly. Hi, this is Cassandra Rivera. I read your report, and I want to say you were absolutely right.